guest parking. Welcome. I just drove 3.5 hours to get to the Ramsey headquarters. This is not my final destination. I'm actually going on a several-day road trip to a state I've never been to before. Of course, I have been to Tennessee, and I've been to Nashville before on more than one occasion. This is right outside of Nashville in the rich people neighborhood, I guess you could call it, Franklin. Beautiful place. Enjoyed driving here. On my way here, I thought I was almost here, so I knew it was one of the upcoming buildings, and the first building that I assumed it was turned out to be the Caleb headquarters, so I guess this is big Christian company headquarters location, street, I guess. So, but we'll go inside Ramsey headquarters and see what we can see. But first, I do need some lunch, and as you probably assume from me visiting Ramsey headquarters of all places, I am on a budget, so I brought my lunch with me. Shameless plug to subscribe. I feel like I'm in a Ramsey zoo. Oh look, there's a Dave. Every visitor can get a free cookie and drink, and I'm just sitting here waiting for the show to start.
Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour on Ramsey. Hey!
How are ya?
This is y'all.
If you don't know Dave's co-host, that is his daughter Rachel, and it looks like her daughter is working here also. Let's see how many of the books I've read. I think I've read one of the financial pieces, I don't remember which one. Total Money Makeover, read that one. Not the Money Answer book. I do want to read Entrepreneurship, but I haven't yet. Total Money Makeover, like I said. Smart Money, Smart Kids I've read. I think I've read The Legacy Journey. Definitely read Rachel Cruz's Love Your Life, Not Theirs. And Breaking Free from Broke. Definitely read that one. Oh, and I listened to the audiobook for this one.
Explaining why I can afford to.
$1 million, anybody. Yes, if you have a net worth of $1 million, you can buy a new car.
I can afford it.
Sorry,
I
America.
want you to be able to
We're
afford
just
it.
doing this.
I want you to be able to afford it. That's all.
100%.
And so, yeah, as we were harder on our scripture today, Isaiah 43:18-19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Albert Einstein said a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new.
I live like no one else, and now I'm going to travel like no one else. I guess it's living like no one else that is allowing me to travel today like no one else. This stop, I spent over 4 hours here. It cost me a grand total of $0. Free cookies and coffee, or chai in my case. I was tempted to buy a book, but I ended up not because they don't accept credit cards and I did not have enough cash on me. Oops, accidental savings. Now I do want to give the disclaimer that I don't actually fully follow the Ramsey plan. I didn't tell Dave that because, you know, he gets mad at people, and my mom texted back when I sent her the picture that I took with him that he actually looked happy with me, which is rare for him. So yeah, I do use credit cards, but I pay them off every single month. And I've never been in debt, so it's not like I need that discipline necessarily. I think Ramsey is for people who have been in a lot of debt. It's a great way to get out of debt. I recommend it for people in that situation. And I think a lot of the principles are still great, but I also bought my car new long before I was a millionaire. I'm still not a millionaire. I don't know why I said it like that. And that was the big argument that Dave and Rachel got into today, because they both agree that you need to have $1 million before you buy a new car, but the way that they were phrasing it was caused them to get in a little tiff with each other, which is kind of funny. Stopped for gas at the cheapest gas station I found so far on this trip. Was still reflecting on sitting in the Ramsey show for 3 hours. I think a big thing that a lot of the callers called about wasn't specifically money problems. Money problems was just problems stemming from relationships problems, which I know I'm single, so that kind of gives me an advantage, sort of. In other ways it doesn't, because I can't combine finances with somebody else, but just that does remind me that it's really important to work on your finances, and even more importantly, work on your relationships. It wasn't just relationships with spouses. There are also people calling with money problems regarding their relationships with their parents or their kids or extended family or even just friends or things like that. So yeah, that's something I really want to focus on as I go about my relationships that I currently have and any future relationships. I do hope to have a good, strong relationship with my kids and teach them money principles, and don't have to be on the same page as everyone necessarily, but just having an understanding of where they're coming from and being able to understand what you believe about money and communicate to figure out what's the best way is to move forward. That's really the important thing. First money spent on the trip, under $40 so far. And also $6.51 from the attached grocery store. Hi guys, just checking in, wanted to let you know that I made it to Knoxville and decided to get a hotel room for the night, so I'm staying at a Days Inn. It was pretty much the cheapest place on my route, and it included free breakfast, and I still have Hotels.com credit. So I enjoyed my drive. It was beautiful most of the way. There were some highways and stuff that weren't quite as beautiful, but I loved driving through the farmland and stuff. Still reflecting on my time at Ramsey Solutions. I do hope to go there again someday. It was great to see both of the personalities that were hosting today. Seeing Dave Ramsey, of course, he founded the company, and his daughter, who I've read several, if not all of her books, and I like watching her show Smart Money Happy Hour. But I also like watching her co-host on Smart Money Happy Hour, George Camel, as well as his own standalone show. So he's probably the one that I most relate to. I really liked his book more than any of the others that I've read from Ramsey's before. So I hope I can see him sometime. I was considering going back through Franklin on my way back home. I don't know if I will do that. One of the issues is you don't know who's hosting the show until you show up. So I could show up and see Dave and Rachel again, or one of the other hosts that I'm just not as familiar with. But anyways, it was a really fun day. A really long day of driving. I'm kind of glad I'm just kind of here stretching now and getting ready to go to bed. I am tired. I did lose an hour coming from Middle Tennessee to Eastern Tennessee, so even though it's 9 o'clock where I live, it's 10 o'clock here, but it actually feels like 10 o'clock, so I think I'm going to turn in for the night. Good night. Good morning. I am glad that I decided day of to book a hotel. I think that would help a lot me getting a good night's sleep, and now we're gonna be on the road for 4+ hours. But there is one stop along the way that I just found out about this morning. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I just looked up the internet this morning on my phone and this ad popped up, so I'm kind of excited to go. And here we are at the Bush's Baked Beans headquarters. I'm gonna go to the visitor center. I will say that it smells strongly of beans in the air. Kind of interesting. But I really enjoyed the drive here. It was a little bit out of the path I was taking, but I think it's well worth it, especially just the drive on its own was beautiful. It reminded me of when I went to Pigeon Forge back in February, spent a week there and went to Gatlinburg and other places in East Tennessee, so very happy to be back in East Tennessee going through a different region. I do want to go to the cafe when it opens. It's still another 45 minutes or so till it opens. They have a pecan and pinto bean pie. That sounds, let's just say, interesting. Woohoo! Oh, it smells so strong of beans. Okay, it's funny that there are two companies, at least the two most famous companies they labeled were Bush's and Clinton, like the presidents.
Now, just buzz the house a few times, and that should do it. Enjoy Bush's Big Bean.
Oh, I can't get to it.
I'm feeling older, so I go for the robot.
Okay. My beans. Now it's time to head to the cafe after a really fun time at the museum. Oh, and there is the original Bush home. These are their new bluey baked beans. They're not blue. That's good. I'm wondering what the rocket pop ones look like though. And now that I've eaten the appetizer, here is the main dish. The chocolate pecan pie. Really good. It's like a brownie. And it's time to hit the road again. Well, that was a fun stop. I didn't even think about how much it connected to my stop yesterday at Ramsey. They're both family-started companies that now employ 1,000+ people. And Ramsey always says that if you're in a lot of debt, you need to eat lots of beans to help you get out of debt. So they should come up with some sort of partnership. So with tip, I spent a little bit over $5 on the pie, and then I filled up half a tank of gas, and we are ready to hit the I-40 again. Well, I made it to Virginia. This is not my final destination though. My plan was to go to West Virginia, but for some reason,
northeast.
There's a part of Virginia that is further west than West Virginia. That's where I am right now. I have been to Virginia before, but only in the DC area, so it's cool to be in a different region on my way to a state that I've never been to before.
Thank God we've gotten over that one, right? I mean, it's like...
And this is my first time ever stepping foot in West Virginia. For over a decade now, I have been to every state surrounding West Virginia, but I've not been to West Virginia itself. And that includes the fact that I lived in Ohio for a year. So kind of crazy that I never made it to West Virginia. But I'm finally here now, checking that off the state. So all I have left is most of New England, I think 6 or 7 states. I did not mean to say that, I'm so sorry. An unspecified number of states. Then Michigan, and then North Dakota. So hopefully within the next year or so, I'll finish up on all the states, and then we can move on to some countries, international, maybe go through Latin America or Europe or something like that. Anyway, I have about another hour's drive until I get to my actual destination, which is the newest national park in the United States, New River Gorge. It happens to be right here in West Virginia, and that seemed like a good destination for me since I wanted to make sure I made it to West Virginia. Well, I made it to West Virginia and New River Gorge. The only issue is it didn't take me, my GPS did not take me to like the visitor center or anything. It just took me to a random spot, and now I have to find the visitor center without any cell service. So I just took a picture of a map back here that I parked my car next to. Right now I'm right by a river, so I'm going to enjoy that. I don't know what you guys learned about West Virginia. I did not learn very much. Most of what I learned about this state, I learned from, as a child, from the book series Shiloh, if you remember that, about the beagle that the kid finds and rescues. So this kind of reminds me of the town that took place, and I also recently watched the movies, which, yeah, it does look a lot like this. The other thing that I learned about West Virginia was that country road song in music class, you know, like Almost Heaven, West Virginia. So yeah, I think this area encapsulates what I know about West Virginia. So I've been on a wild goose chase for the past hour or so, hour and a half I think, because I had to go up to the visitor center. I finally got to a place where I got service to get directions to the visitor center because the map that I took a picture of in that first stop I made was not very clear. I made it with about 5 minutes to spare before the visitor center closed, so I got all the information I need, filled up my water bottle, went to the bathroom, and then started searching for a campsite. Now, the issue is all the campsites are first come, first serve. So, and it turned out that most of the campgrounds are back where I started. I just had to drive a little bit further. I couldn't tell from the map. So I started going through the campgrounds. The first one, completely full, was a very small campground. The second one looks pretty full. I found one pullout that I wasn't very clearly labeled whether or not it was a campsite. It didn't have a no camping spot, you know, sign or anything like the other places do, but it didn't have anything saying it was a campsite. I don't know. So I'm going to hang out here for a while. If I have to leave, then I have to leave. My backup is to get a hotel room in town. They aren't too expensive, and I still have Hotels.com credit, so it won't actually cost me money anyways. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this campground by the riverside and have some dinner. I know this trip was kind of based around spontaneity, but I could have brought my kayak and my hammock. But it's okay, I still have a good camping setup, as long as I'm allowed to camp here. For now, we'll just have hummus. I found this on clearance yesterday, which I thought was appropriate for this kind of trip. If Winnie the Pooh never taught you how to play Pooh sticks, now's your chance. So we've got this Y-shaped stick, a long stick, and a piece of bark. Go to the other side. And let's see who we see first. If any of them are going to come through. They might have been buried by the rapids. But normally, you're supposed to see which one comes through first. Works better when it's not quite as rapidy of a river. Alright, round 2 for Pooh sticks. We'll see if we can get it to work this time. Over here, I'm afraid it might have gotten stuck on that log, so we'll try tossing it over here. Alright, they're going. Let's see if they come out the other side. Oh, there they are! By that big rock. Yay! We have a winner! I've seen a ton of blackberry bushes around here. Too bad they're not ripe for the picking yet. But since it's midsummer right now, it is very hot. If I don't camp here tonight, it's probably going to be because I just got overheated and decided to call it, go to a hotel that had air conditioning. That would be really helpful. I just dropped my water bottle. But I think I can make it tonight because this is a pretty shaded area. My car's parked in the shade. I won't, be using heavy blankets or anything. So I think I'll survive, but I don't think I'll be doing this for 2 nights. I'll leave tomorrow. They have a wheelchair accessible trail that goes right along the river. That's so cool! Knee deep in the river is a pretty cool way to end a day. Let's play a little game of Is My Car Camouflaged? Since I'm sleeping in the back of my car, there shouldn't be too much setup. I still gotta lay the mattress out and move all this other junk. Turns out my hammock was in my car this whole time, so I could set it up if I wanted to. The only issue is a lot of these trees have poison ivy. I am all set up in the back of my car. So I'm going to finish getting ready for bed, and I will probably read myself to sleep and then see you tomorrow. Good morning. I slept pretty well this night, actually better than the hotel the night before, which was kind of funny. So I'm getting ready. I did just check the car to make sure the coolant was okay because it has been really hot. It's been fine, so we can close this. Now I'm going to eat breakfast by the river and probably go on about my day. The only issue with camping in my car is that once I take my car away from a campsite, it's no longer reserved for me. So I'm going to move on anyways, probably go to a place where I can get cell service so I can figure out exactly where I want to go next. But I think today we'll start heading through Kentucky after spending as much time as I want here at the national park. Got to watch those rafters launch. And I've got a bowl of cereal. I've also got some rolls and Nutella and some milk to mix my matcha with. So it's going to be a good morning. Saying goodbye to the river, at least for now. I'm gonna head back to the visitor center that I was at yesterday, which I do hate driving back and forth this much, but it's what needed to happen because there's a great bridge overlook right there, and I think that's the main feature of this park is seeing this amazing bridge. I drove over the bridge, but haven't actually seen it from any other angle. So that'll be fun, and then there's also cell phone service up at the visitor center, so I'll be able to figure out what I want to do next. Stopping on the side of the road because I saw this really cool sight that I want to actually get out of the car for. You can probably already hear it. Check out this waterfall. So cool. It goes all the way up there. And then it goes under the street. I can hear it on the other side. Let's see. Yep, and it keeps going out here, all the way down to the river down there. This is the most expensive gas I've seen on this entire trip, so I'm not going to get too much. Now we're gonna take a look at this bridge, but first we gotta cross this bridge. So we can get a better view, but it's gonna be 178 steps each way. We got this. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 109. And we made it! This is the longest arch bridge in the continent, which is going over one of the oldest rivers in the continent. So it is a little weird that it's called the New River. So I decided that I'm going to go on the scenic drive to see a little bit more of the national park, and then I'm going to head into town to get some ice cream, because have you really been to a state if you haven't had their ice cream? And then after that I'll go into Kentucky and get more ice cream eventually. So this driving tour is only 8 miles, but it's supposed to take 45 minutes. But the significance of it is that this is what you had to drive before that big bridge got built. So we're kind of going on a drive down history. Okay, I saw these guys getting ready for their experience, but that's kind of cool. Now I am under the bridge. I was just up there a few minutes ago, and now I'm down here. And I can even see the exact platform I looked off of. I was right there not that long ago. It looks like somebody's up there now. Those guys up there were just waving at me, but now I'm gonna head under the bridge just to say that I've been under the bridge too. Maybe not the same way they did, but you know, everybody's gotta do their own thing. And here I go under the bridge. Here are my new friends up there. I don't know their names. I guess they're not really my friends. I don't have any friends in West Virginia. Sad. This is cool. You can see all the trestles. That's what they're called, right? I should know more about bridges. I'm interested in architecture. Not that I want to do it or anything. I just enjoy looking at unique architecture. But yeah. I have officially crossed underneath the new River Gorge Bridge. Okay, honestly, after looking at them doing this for a couple minutes, I am kind of jealous. I'm used to being at heights and stuff, but this would be probably the highest height I ever have done. Other than skydiving, I guess. So, and that one I would not be harnessed in. At least to anything other than the parachute. Oh yeah, I guess I've also been on the Willis Tower, but that was, you know, I was inside on the sky deck. I just stepped out onto a platform, but I was still inside. Actually, the distance from there to this ground is probably less than the Willis Tower, but from here all the way down to the river, that's gotta be the Willis Tower for sure. And here is the original bridge. It actually had a real pedestrian pathway, not one you had to gear up and walk under. It's looking over the river. Very cool. You can see it's much lower than the new bridge. Closer to the earth. Cute bear ice cream statue. Cashews and caramel. Alright, so I am doing a little bit of change of plans, but you know, this trip is all about being spontaneous anyways. So I'm not going to go get ice cream in Kentucky because that was enough for me for today. I don't know, I'm just not as into ice cream anymore as I used to be. So I'm still going to go to Kentucky though. I'm going to spend the night there. I'm going to cross the street right now, sorry. Alright, crossing the street. Alright. I'm going to spend the night there, but not in this place I was expecting. I'm actually going to go a little bit further north than what I was originally planning to do. I'm going to spend the night there, right next to the Ark Encounter, which I've never been to before. But the only other time I've been to Kentucky in the past, which was, what, like 12 years ago, I went to the Creation Museum. The Ark Encounter didn't exist at the time. So I finally get to go see the Ark Encounter, which is the companion to the Creation Museum. Well, I still get to enjoy the drive through West Virginia. I'm enjoying it. Goodbye. I just drove 3 straight hours like it was nothing. Somewhere in Kentucky now. The car didn't act like it was nothing. It needs gas. Only 100 miles to go today. And I found snacks at the grocery store, so got these and a few other things. So I made it to Williamstown, Kentucky. I am like a 1/10 of a mile away from the Ark Encounter. I got to drive by and I couldn't see the Ark from the road because they have a massive parking lot. But I am excited to walk there tomorrow and see everything inside. Tonight, I was reflecting on my last time in Kentucky, which again was like 12 years ago when I went to the Creation Museum. And I didn't see much of Kentucky on that trip because I was basically just in the Cincinnati area. But I did get to have Cincinnati chili for the first time on that trip. So I'm going to have Cincinnati chili again on this trip. There's a place that's just about 10 minutes away, so let's drive there. Hello, Gold Star Chili. So if you don't know what Cincinnati chili is, it's spaghetti topped with chili. I'm back in my room planning for tomorrow, and I realized that on the front of their brochure, if these are the giraffes that they are depicting as living in the time of Noah, then at least half of them are going to die. Good morning. I am walking away from my hotel now. I'm leaving my car here, so I will be back later in the day. It was a little bit more expensive than I was hoping to pay for what was basically a motel room, close to $100. But it had free breakfast, so got to take that into account. I did pay for it with my Hotels.com rewards, so didn't actually pay, but still, there's, you know, that piece to it. And I am right next to the Ark Encounter, like you can see the sign right behind me. So I'm going to try to get in without paying for parking since I'm not actually driving there. I know the neighboring hotel has an entrance, but you have to have a key card in order to enter. So I'll see if maybe I can get in the same time as somebody else, or I'll try to enter through the main gate, and I don't know if they'll let me go in without paying for parking because it sounds like everybody has to pay for parking, and I want to try to avoid that. That's why I got a hotel room within walking distance, because I didn't want to pay for parking. I already paid $70 for the ticket. The Hampton costs double what my hotel costs over there. And they have to pay for parking too. Not as much as paying to park in the Ark Encounter right over here, but still kind of a ripoff. So I've been to the Creation Museum before, like 12 years ago when I lived in Ohio. They're still building the Ark Encounter. I actually contributed to the Ark Encounter, so I don't know if I'll be able to find my contribution once I get inside because I don't have the serial number anymore. But we'll see if they can look it up for me. So it's really cool to finally be here after all these years. The Creation Museum is owned by the same organization as the Ark Encounter, so there will be lots of overlap, but they are completely unique experiences. Like the Creation Museum focuses on the 7 C's of creation, which, if I can remember, are creation. Oh, what's the second one? It's where they sin. Not catastrophe. Catastrophe is the third one. Creation, corruption, catastrophe, confusion, Christ, crossed, and consummation. So catastrophe is what Noah's Ark was. So we'll be focusing on catastrophe today. Yeah, this does require a key card for entry, so I'm wondering if somebody else will show up that I can walk in with. Got 10 minutes till the gates are supposed to open. Otherwise, there's the other entrance for cars. I made it in, and they just started letting cars in. So I think we're supposed to head over here. So be sure to get here half an hour before they actually open, and you'll get no lines. Can't believe it's been 10 years already. I remember when they were still just fundraising for it in the initial phases. it is. Am I the first person to walk under the rainbow today?
It's a kingfish.
Oh, that one's a kingfish.
You don't want to talk anymore? Now that I'm filming you? Zazu, is that you? Yep. I think they use the same music that SeaWorld does at their entrance. I'm now under the ark. Looks like that's the animal boarding area, the traditional one. This is the normal modern day area. Oh, never mind, I do get to board this way. Not everything is real, but historically accurate. For example, the real ark did not come with emergency exits because this was the only safe place in the world. All the animals and some waste removal. And food and seeds and things they'd need for the new world. I wonder if Noah needed to label everything to remember what was what. Here are some dinosaurs. From one end of the ark to the other on just one of the decks. Time to head up to deck 2. Okay, let's see if I can find my name. I was a plank sponsor. It looks like it's in alphabetical order. So go into the L's. There's L's. Where am I? L-E. L-I. There I am, right there. Oh my goodness, it's me. It's crazy that it's been like 15 years since I made that donation. In faith, I wasn't making very much money at all at the time. I was just starting an internship that made like, I think $400 a month, so that was a big investment for me. But it's great to see that it actually made something, and it's continuing to this day. Studying this one in college.
About the same age as any other 600-year-old person I've met. Well, except for my wife, of course. She doesn't look a day past 400. In all directions, even backwards. My wife, she likes...
That was deck 2, on to deck 3. How there's things to look at above the exhibits.
Less than 50 years after they landed. Yet Bill Nye and others.
I loved going to the Museum of the Bible in DC. This should be good.
Has been translated over and over again in a remarkable process.
Third floor was fun. I'm gonna head back out of the Ark because there's a lot more to see outside. Well, I'm definitely glad I came here first thing in the morning because it definitely got more and more crowded even just over the past couple of hours. Back outside, it is hot. So you did see my name on the wall. One of these planks are mine. I just don't have the serial number to find out which one. Alright, where are the animals? Gonna guess they're over with that crowd of people. There's one over there. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, look at all the lemurs cuddling. And they all looked up. Hi, lemurs. Hi, guys. Did I wake you up from your nap? I'm so sorry. Hello there, stork. You pretty, Crane. What you doing with the fence? Trying to escape? Yeah, that last sentence says that their body smells like buttered popcorn, and I'm getting strong sense of that right now. And there he is.
He's curious.
And porcupines are napping. I love alpacas. And I guess there's a bird in this one. I don't see the bird. Yep, not seeing the bird. This is a rhea. It's the only bird I'm slightly scared of because one time at a zoo, it stuck its head in my car. It was a drive-through zoo, and it started eating my seatbelt. It's like it didn't want me to live. Emu. And hey guys. Hi there. Scratch yours? No, you don't want me to scratch yours. You want to be pet? Yeah, you'll let me pet you. You tried to bite me. Is that a zorse? It is a zorse. It looks like over there's a zonkey. Look at that. Look at its legs. That's just so amazing looking. I want one. There's a black vulture, and over here is the bald eagle. Lots of food options. Tacos, we already passed a pizza place and a barbecue place. Here's an ice cream place. There's also a buffet. So I packed my lunch, but you don't have to. Not many kids at the playground today because it's like 100 degrees outside. Oh, but they have misters, yes. There's lots of extras you can add on. To the right of the ark's a zip line. Over here we have a carousel and a VR experience. So there's plenty to do in a day without paying extra, but there's those options if you want them. Wait, does that say that the carousel is included with the mission? Well, let's go. Should I get a living animal or something that's extinct? I went with an extinct friend here. Got my bird friend right next to me. And a horse. And an apatosaurus, I think. Go! I don't know why I love carousels so much. Not as thrilling as roller coasters, but still. That is what I'm writing right now. I cannot pronounce that. And next to the rainbow entrance, they have the Answer Center, which has an auditorium that does different productions throughout the day, videos and live presentations. So I'm gonna head there next. Probably won't be able to videotape it, so I'll just let you know how it went. This is what I rode last time. Now I'm riding the Falcon. I'm hoping it goes up and down a little bit more. So according to the wall, this is a falcon a day. And here we go. Fly, my pretty. Well, I've really enjoyed my time at the Ark Encounter. I learned a lot, got to see some cool things, got to have some cool experiences, and I recommend it. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. It's even better in person. Okay, I'm gonna get one thing from the gift shop. It's on clearance for $5. Okay, somehow my souvenirs were fruitful and multiplied, but the sticker was 99 cents, and I've seen them on a lot of cars, and I need to add it to my sticker trunk at least. And the keychain was free. So That pyramid, if you come here in a year or later, that will be something. It's under construction right now. And this is the exit right back where we started. It's been a good day. And now I get to drive 7 hours to get back home. But I did want to emphasize that you can believe whatever you want to believe. I mean, I'm in the United States, so we have freedom of religion. And even if you are a Christian, you don't have to believe everything that's here. That is acceptable. It's not a requirement to become a Christian to believe everything depicted in creationism theory. But it is something that can be scientifically explored. I do encourage people to explore it from that matter. There's just so much to learn. And regardless of whether you lean more towards creationism or evolution or maybe some other theory, use this opportunity to ask questions of people and learn from their perspective, even if you don't agree with it, because it can be really insightful. I took a class in college. I did go to a Christian college, or at least that's where I ended up graduating from, where I did have to take a scientific models of creation class in order to graduate. It was just one of the general prereqs. And I learned a lot from it. And something I learned was that they didn't agree with everything the Creation Museum said, at least my professor didn't. And in fact, he said that there was a lot of validity to evolution, which, I mean, that's why we all had to study it in public school. So there's a lot to learn from it, even if you don't fully agree with it. And it's great to be able to understand both perspectives and not make fun of it. That's something that I really don't like, when people make fun of it. I know when I went to youth group as a kid, when we learned about creation versus evolution, we were just making fun of evolution. And that's not the right way to go about it either. So please use this as an opportunity to learn from each other. And oh my goodness, it is so hot outside. As you can see, the parking lot has definitely filled up a lot more. And I think the walk back to my hotel is going to be even more difficult than the 7-hour drive home. I am almost back to the first hotel that I'm using their shortcut for, and then I have to walk back to my hotel, and then I'll drive home. Okay, still on my way back to my hotel, or at least the hotel I checked out of this morning. Just wanted to add one more thing that I kind of enjoyed that I didn't film at all, was the bus ride. Both ways, I got to sit next to some fun people. On the way there was a lady who kept asking me questions about my life, and I got to tell her my story, especially from the past few months, about leaving by faith from California and traveling the country for 2 months before finally finding a job at a camp for people with disabilities in Tennessee, and just how God's been working through all of that. And then on the way back, I offered the seat next to me to this little girl who was sitting on the floor, and so I offered her my seat instead. And you know, as the mom told her to sit down, she turned to me and was like, "I'm sorry, she's going to talk your ear off." But it was a lot of fun. I got to ask her questions about her experience at the Ark Encounter, and yeah, just about her life, and so that was fun as well. But anyways, I would like to hear about your life, so tell me something that you are looking forward to doing this summer, or a fun road trip you've taken in the past. And if you've liked this video, please like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and do whatever you can to help it reach the people that it needs to reach. Thank you so much. Bye!